Michaela.
Hi.
Michaela, do
Oh,
you mind?
sorry.
I'll
Let me
send
put
it
your
to you
video
on
back.
just so we sort of have a record.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Yeah.
I'll send
That's
it to you
fine.
on WhatsApp. Do I have your WhatsApp? Miato, you give me Michaela's WhatsApp so I can communicate with her on WhatsApp. Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I'll give you my all right, Miata, don't send that one because that's my personal phone. I'll give you my
Okay.
work phone and then it's easier
Okay.
for me. And also you'll integrate straight on my system.
Sure.
I've got I think I've got your email from your Kumba Estates email, so I'll email you.
Okay.
And then in my email signature will be my number and everything. And I've got WhatsApp on my work phone also.
Okay.
Um, and then it just keeps it. Otherwise, I don't check my personal stuff
Personal.
and my personal email as often as I check my work one. So it's just
Sure.
easier to, yeah, keep it all
Sure.
in one place.
Cool. But sorry, I was going off on a bit of a tangent then. But yeah, just to give you sort of a full scope, if you have any questions, I know that you and Madonna had
Yeah,
started that. Mhm.
yeah. No, yeah, like I say, I think it sounds great. I think the website looks great. It sounds really interesting what you're doing with, like partnering up with big brands like Hilton Hotel. And I definitely think that Madonna's development management experience will come in so handy because so many people, they may have land, and they may be sending money every month to kind of
Mm.
build something, but they want someone on the ground just to make sure that it's getting done. So if you could
Mhm.
train up people to be doing that and giving reports, and there's software and things that you can use that, you just get them access to that so that people can see exactly what's happening. I can put you in touch with a development manager that I know here in the UK. He's just set up his own business, which is called, I think it's called Alake Developments, but I'll just double check and I'll send that to you. And he'll be able to give you, loads of pointers and things about, I guess, because I suppose it's a really big business, right? So it's not going to be just the two of you. Like you're going to
I'm
need
gonna
a few people
employ
on the ground.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he'll probably be able to help you just understand like what skill sets you're looking for in people and things like that. And he might have some. He's of Nigerian origin himself, so he may have some contacts in West Africa, but I don't know that for sure. Um, I think the second person that it might be good to put you in touch with is another guy who's CEO of a development company called the oh Africa Housing Corporation or something like that. And he's currently developing a housing estate, I believe, out in Ghana. But the idea is, oh, where's Miata gone?
Hello, Miata.
Lost her.
She's probably, I mean, she's in the hospital.
Yeah, so it
So
might be
it's
the
probably
internet
the
not.
network, it's probably something. But I mean,
Mhm.
this is just a touch base Zoom.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll have more in the future.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and when Miata's out of the hospital. So
yeah,
it's just touching base.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know
And
if
we've
you
got
want
this
to,
recorded, so you
yeah,
can
just
hopefully
wrap it up and then we'll just,
but
yeah, call it a day and then,
yeah,
link
but
up after she's out from the hospital.
yeah, yeah, which is fine. So I'm just making a list of the people that I think you should have
Because
a
I think right now we need funding. We need funds. There's a project that the African Development Bank is doing. Maybe
Mhm,
Miata can send that to you later on or something.
mhm,
They're trying to give like 100,000 to women organizations that can help with sustainability in terms of climate change, but maybe we can adapt it to the building, construction. Maybe
mhm.
the materials we're using are recyclable, like the granite on the floor is plastic rather than, blah, 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 blah. So I was asking Miata maybe if we can see how we can work together to sort of
Mm,
raise funds.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
to keep
I would
Sarah.
say, yeah, I would say I don't tend to get involved. So I do the financial models for my clients that they go and then take to funders to prove
Okay.
that their projects are viable. But I don't tend to get involved with a lot of the fundraising. But if
Oh,
you
I
speak
understand. I understand.
to Olu, yeah, if you speak to Olu, who manages projects out in Africa, he has another day job which is head of a consultancy called Altair Africa,
Okay.
and they're quite a huge consultancy. A lot of their projects are funded by IMF and
World
Africa
Bank.
Development Bank,
Mhm.
so they have access to that kind of funding.
Okay.
Um, there is one other girl who I saw on her LinkedIn she's moved now, but she used to work at Barclays in their Africa office, and she was in charge of all this
Yeah.
private clients. So African people who had a lot of money and wanted to invest it in certain projects,
Have you?
and she would sort of do that. I noticed that she's moved jobs, so I'm not sure if she's still doing that, but I can definitely put her in touch with you as well.
Do you know anyone in BlackRock? BlackRock in the US, you know, the financial people. I don't know anyone, but I just went to some real estate project, no, 2 days ago, and they were talking about, oh, they give all the people money to develop properties, and they call BlackRock. So
Yes,
they're
so
basically
BlackRock are one of the biggest. They're
funders.
one of the biggest private equity funds.
Yeah.
And people always joke like they own everything. I'm just having a look at my LinkedIn now because I do think I knew someone who used to work for them, but it was years ago, and I don't know if he's still there. So
Okay,
let me just
because you
have a
know the
little
Cape
look.
Sarah Hotel needs 60 million, and the one in Cape Verde is two projects that we've been. A Polish friend of mine, his name is Wojciech, great guy,
Yeah,
known him for about 10 years.
yeah,
He put two projects on the table. One
yeah,
was Cape Sarah to finish the Hilton. It's already sort of built but not completed, all the
yeah,
finishing and everything. And then the second project was in Cape Verde. Um,
yeah,
I've never been, but Miata says she'll probably just go and if we'd start that project. So
yeah.
Cape Verde is called Sambala
Okay.
Boulevard, and they want to
Yeah.
build 749 units, mixed units. Miata's come back in. Hello, Miata. Hiya, hi.
You okay, Miata?
I'm bursting to go toilet, so hurry up, Miata, because I'm gonna piss on myself in a minute. Jesus. I'm knocking on 50, Miata. Hurry up. I need to go toilet.
Madonna,
I'm
honestly,
joking.
what's going on? My I hope you guys continued. Sorry, the internet here is not strong.
This is
So
what we thought. This is what
where you're at?
Madonna was going to
You
take a
waiting for me?
loo break.
Yeah, you
Oh,
two talk while I go toilet.
Okay, yeah, it's all right. So
sorry, Taylor.
So while you were gone, Madonna was just talking about me and Madonna were talking about that what she really needs is this access to funding. And I said, to be honest, I do the development viability model. So I do the model that my clients take to funders to say, yes, our project is viable. But I don't tend to deal with the funders at that stage and negotiate deals and stuff for them. But I do know a few people who have access to funding. So I told you about Olu, who's the CEO of the Africa Development, Africa Housing Fund. Sorry, I can't remember the exact name of the company, but he's also CEO at a firm called Altair Africa. So he gets funding. He's able to. So Altair Africa do a lot of projects for like IMF, Africa Development Bank. You still there, Miata?
Yeah, I'm here. Miata, hi.
So I was saying maybe have a chat to him and just see if he can help out with some funding applications and things.
Great.
For that. And then the other person who I don't know if she's.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Because I think if we focus on those two projects, because they're sort of on the table, so it's just to bring them alive,
100%. Yeah, 100%. And then there'll be really good
and it'll be great
case studies, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Because the gentleman is saying if we bring the funding to the table, we split the fee, which is okay, 2%, but 2% of 50 million or 2% of 60 million, because the one in Cape Verde to build the 749 mixed units, it's the budget was $50 million, but it's in a great spot from what Wojciech told me. The returns.
What I would say to you, which I say to everyone who goes into development management, I've said it to Adewale, who's the guy I put you in touch with as well, is that you get 2%, but at the end of the project. So what you need to make sure is that you've got a cash flow that can get you through to completion. So I would say at the same time as focusing on this, maybe also have your system where agents and whatever can sign up to your platform and they're paying you a fee, so you've got some income coming in until you get your sort of big income. And those projects, I mean, they can take I mean, the
Ages.
ones in Africa, to be honest, take like quite quite a long time for things to get done. So it could be 2 to 4 years you're looking at until you get, and it's a massive payoff, but it's just kind of tiding yourself over for that time.
Sure.
So yeah, I would definitely say to have two income streams, one that's like low income but is regular, and then to know, and like after the first one, that should be enough to like tide you over. So then you probably could let go of like smaller income streams if you wanted to. But I personally think that I think that your platform would be really good to showcase properties that are for sale. I think focused on expats or like returnees who want to just buy something completed or are looking for land that has a title. The difficulty in Africa is buying like land that has a title. So if you're able to have that sorted for them and have a portal where you have land that they can just start to build on, would be great. What was the other thing I was going to say? I forgot. But yeah, there was something else in your product line as well that I thought, oh, you're right, that's it. The property management is huge. It's very, very difficult for people to rent their properties out in Africa and find property managers to the European standards of how we want to do property management. So if you were able to train up property managers and have that as a service, that would be massive. And the margins on that aren't huge, so it'd just be that regular income coming in. But that's something that people but that's something that people really, really need. I get, all the time my phone buzzing of people being like, we've got this scheme in Kenya, like we've got 50-40 homes and we don't have anyone to manage it, and the management agents here are just not to the standard that we want, because a lot of people will be either expats or charity work, NGO workers, and so they want it to a certain standard. And you can't always find that locally if people haven't been trained abroad in like property management and stuff, and don't have the systems in place, like all the automation that we use. So I think those are all really good business lines, to be honest. I think you just get going as soon as possible and train up as many people to take the load off you as possible. So I know, Miata, at some point you're going to Sierra Leone in like November. So I think then if you're in the UK, Madonna, and can like speak to the funders, because they're all London based or like Switzerland based, so if you can like be the Europe side speaking to all the funders, and then Miata's in Africa, I think that will work really well. But
thank you, thank you.
So
ladies, Miata, do you want to round up?
No, is there anything else? Thank you so much, Michaela, for that advice. It sounds fantastic. Something we'll definitely take on board. And I'd love to know more about what you're doing. Anything that we could collaborate on or support you in at this point. If nothing comes to mind now, then definitely something that will be there for the future. But just wanted to also add that in.
I mean, definitely. I mean, when it comes to the UK stuff, so I don't do a lot in Africa anymore. So I used to work with Olu, and that was great. When the pandemic hit. Sorry?
South Africa?
No, that was in Rwanda. So I did a project with him in Rwanda, and I was supposed to do one in Mozambique, but then the pandemic hit. And it did still go ahead, but it was like a reshuffle of the team and whatever. So I didn't end up being on it. When it happened, I think they were sort of moving more towards using local people and local expertise, which is obviously good. But so since the pandemic, I haven't gone back to kind of doing international work, but I'm still keen to do it. Like even the finances, I actually have I'm just helped. So not exactly like you, Madonna, because I've done almost nothing to do with it except a little bit project management, but I've helped a friend. She's just about to finish building her house in Malawi. So that's been like quite fun, just kind of seeing obviously the difference and like how long things take compared to obviously over here. No, I mean, I can't say that. Things over here take ages as well, but I guess it's because we have the paperwork and we kind of know where the next step is, and there's someone to call. So it's as frustrating over here, to be fair. But I definitely, I've also got a friend who runs a real estate company, but it's probably a bit out of your patch, but he's in Sudan. and he's also doing. You might want to speak to him actually, just in terms of the funding, because I'm not sure where his funding comes from, but he does massive projects. Like he does, these massive.
They have a lot
I
of
don't know.
oil.
He
They have a
does.
lot of oil in Sudan. Maybe he's using some of that oil money.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Maybe that's where the money comes from. I'm not sure, because it doesn't seem to me like there's a big international market there. It's definitely
Oil.
sort of political. Yeah. So I mean, you could always have a chat to him if you want. I'll just send you like everybody's details, and then up to you if you want to sort of take conversations forward. But yeah, no, I mean, I find it all really interesting. I'd love to at some point start moving my consultancy to do more Africa-based stuff. So I think it's great that you've got that, and Miata, you got your link to China as well. And when I was in Rwanda, a lot of the projects I was looking at were Chinese developers building it for Chinese people. So they buy these apartments, they rent them out, and the developers offer them like a guaranteed rent. So it's like first 5 years you're guaranteed this rent or whatever. And they basically are renting them out to Chinese workers, because all the construction is done by like Chinese people. So they're like renting them back out to Chinese. So it's kind of the circular economy. But it was, it was cool to see that they build these huge blocks of flats, like really high dense stuff, which, I think the shame of when, for example, when I see maybe more local developers is they're just building one house, and they're not, and it's for like the upper middle class kind of thing. They're not building the kind of just high density stuff that would make it cheaper for lower middle class people to just live and own a property. And it's not all about buying. You could build for rent, and there's a massive rental market in Africa as well. So if you had a funder who was happy, so when I worked in South Africa, I worked for private equity fund who were building for rent, and they built these massive projects, really really nice, but they were for rent because the mortgage market there is very shallow. Not a lot of people can get a mortgage, so it makes more sense to rent stuff than to thing. And that was for like lower middle class people. So yeah,
Amazing.
Amazing. All right. Well, thanks
Well,
for that. Thanks for letting me know about your business. Sorry for crying on you, Madonna. I also cried on Miata, so like, any consolation.
Oh, bless you. Why did we talk about my mum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still miss her so much.
Bless you.
I think this is, it's so nice that you're doing this in her name as well. So, like it's a really amazing thing for her two daughters to do for her.
Thank you.
Sorry, Miata, I don't mean that.
Glory to God. Glory to God. It's really my sister that's been driving this, so thank God. She's really had this on her heart, and just happy that we can. So yeah, just keep praying for us, please, so that we can work well. And there's definitely a lot of opportunities, and thank you so much. I'm really really grateful that you took the initiative. You're so brilliant. I've always admired you so much, and I'm really really grateful for you to take this time. And let's continue to support each other and stay in touch. So you've already got my sister's email address, have you?
I've got the Kumba Estates one somewhere. So I saw. I think did my dad have your business cards?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I saw it on my dad's.
My sister gives them out on Sunday.
Give him one.
Yeah. So Madonna can send just like an email with me in it, and just like you can then follow up with those connections. And
you send the email. You're good at all those email things. You send it and
I'll send. Let me WhatsApp you my email. And then what I'll do is I'll introduce you. So then I'll send a series of emails just introducing you to those people that I've mentioned, and then I'll just leave you to take it forward with them. They're all really like I always send people their way, and they're happy to give the time. They've been through it, so they know it's tough. And that's fine. I think and I think even if you mention some of these projects, I wouldn't be surprised if they can collaborate with you or partner with you, or whatever the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
very
Thank you
much,
so
Lee.
much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
No.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. I can't believe the end of September. Where's this time going?
I know, it's crazy. We're gonna be at
Oh,
Christmas soon.
Crazy, mad, mad,
no.
mad, mad, mad.
Well, enjoy your Friday, the last day of September, and look forward to having that email. And yeah, I really appreciate your help. God bless you.
No
Thank you.
worries. God bless you both. Best of luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Love you, Mia.
Bye.